Hello everyone, welcome to the last session of this week. So in the past 2 weeks, we have introduced many concepts in machine learning. So in this session, we will do a summary of that. So first of all, we introduced the overview of machine learning, right? So we start from data set, then we represent the data, then we select the machine learning algorithm. Based on this, we train the model. Then we evaluate the trained model. So this is a machine learning overview. So in this part, we introduced what is machine learning and compared machine learning with traditional programming. So one of them have explicit logic, while the other is an implicit one that is contained in a machine learning model. Then we talk about different types of machine learning. So we can say supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and semi-supervised learning. Then we concentrate on the supervised learning, and we introduced two very important concepts, which are the regression and classification. After this, we go through step by step in this process. We first introduce data representation. So in this one, we introduce the basic concepts in data, right? So for example, the data set, the sample, the feature, the label, and then for machine learning, the model, the training set, and the test set. Then we introduced the different data types that needs to be handled differently in machine learning, including the numerical data and the categorical data. So in numerical data, there are discrete ones and continuous ones, and in categorical data, there are binary, nominal, and ordinal. So given that the binary and ordinal data are quite simple to be represented, so we provided more details on the encoding of the nominal data, that is one-hot encoding and dummy encoding. So after the data representation, we go to the next step, select machine learning algorithms. So in this step, we introduce the parametric model and the non-parametric model. So in parametric model, we introduce the straightforward one, the linear regression and its principles. So then we use it to handle a financial prediction problem. We introduce a MATLAB implementation of it. For the non-parametric models, we introduced the k-nearest neighbors, KN, and its principles. Then we detailed the classification process using KN. Then we introduce a MATLAB implementation of it. The next step, we consider the model training, that is in this week. So we first introduce a loss function, right? So for regression, there are the MSE and MAE, and for classification, we introduced two kinds of cross-entropy functions, or binary and multi-classes. Then we consider the minimization of the loss function, and the algorithm is a gradient descent algorithm. Then we introduced three kinds of widely used gradient descent algorithms. For they are the batch gradient descent, the stochastic gradient descent, and the mini-batch gradient descent. So at last, we talk about the model evaluation. So we can see introduce a bias and a variance. So what are their definitions and their influence on the prediction error? Then we introduce the important concept of underfitting, so how to detect it and how to avoid it. The same happens to overfitting. Then we introduce the k-fold cross-validation, including its principles, how it works, and as well as the bias and variance estimation using the k-fold cross-validation. At last, we introduced the bias and variance trade-off, including its principles, as well as how to get a good fitting, considering their trade-off. So these are all the concepts that we have introduced in these 2 weeks. So we think that we introduced that most of the concepts that you must understand for machine learning. So this paves the way for you to do further study. So now that's all for this week. So see you next week. Bye-bye.